morning, good afternoon, good evening. May Jesus Christ bless you. I think we're going to call this something along the lines of, it's okay to put your training wheels back on. Anyway, there's a little bit in everything that we're going to talk about. Yesterday, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Moana, where she made that initial attempt to go and return the heart to Tahiti. And she got blown away out to sea, ship left in ruins, and she was just like, and then Maui comes back and just like, you know, she's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I had that moment yesterday, and it was a little bit of everything, because Maui broke his hook. I've got a hammer that I've had since the first welder that I bought, and it's like my own personal Milne. It's a sledgehammer, and it's been in every toolbox. It's been with me the whole damn way. Yesterday it got crushed, and also the actual tool. I've got a Milwaukee impact driver, proper expensive, quick, high torque one. It got crushed as well. Broke its neck, like you can't use it, but and the actual project that I'm working on flipped on its head, and not just once but twice, and like just I know that what's going on is completely satanic. Yesterday it kind of went below the belt finally. You know when something like the line's been crossed? Very violating, very disrespectful. Just like the satanic forces deliberately went out of their way to sabotage a situation and to just go, no, this isn't going to happen, and just like crushed what tools I had that gave me the ability to do what I did. Anyway, so it was at that point in time. See, God doesn't train you for 15 years, not for you to draw back on every last skill that you've learned over the last 15 years, right? So first of all, because I actually had my concerns of God at that moment, I was just like, well, I'm not doing this for God anymore. I'm not doing it for anyone. I'm doing it for myself, because I didn't come this far to pull out now. So quitting's not an option. I then recognised that obviously the crushing of my gear was to try and get under my skin. But who's going to the lake of fire? So how's it getting underneath my skin when I'm not going there? See? I just got to keep doing what I'm doing. So there's that resolve. Now, here's the big one about, and today, honestly, I feel beat up. Like, my body is wrecked. But it's going to happen. I will get this done, and whatever comes from it, comes from it. But we've got to be disciplined now, we've got to be focused. But now we're going to pull into, it's alright to wear training wheels. When you're doing something and the only objective is to cross the finish line, does it matter if you put the gloves back on and get the training wheels out? What do you think self-image matters at this point? Do you think that's oxygen that you're breathing? Air that you're breathing? No. Look, I'm tightrope walking, a massive tightrope where I'm messing with frames that are 50 to 60 metres long, and I've got to get millimetre precision over a 60 metre length. And once you're in, that's it. There's no pulling out. Until it's done, that's it. I'm not saying it's the thrill of it, but like, Vin Diesel lives his life 1/4 mile at a time. Once you're in the quarter mile, you can't pull out until it's finished. This here is a bit longer than a quarter mile. It takes a couple of hours sometimes, and it's high vigilant, high intensity, millimetre precision, all or nothing. Till it's done, you got to stick at it. Anyway, so I was having a look at where I was at, and I've been fluking a few things, and That is what it is. So when skill, talent, pissing excellence isn't enough, you've got to revert back to whatever it takes, essentially. And so, we're talking about a boat. So what happens if you've got a boat that keeps tipping? It's not stable. So, driving home last night, see, I don't look at Bunnings Warehouse as a shop. For me, it's like a lab. And all you're doing is you're walking around, alchemizing ideas to try and find solutions to be able to go, yep, there it is. So, my ship that I'm trying to, my above ground ship that I need to get stable so that I can get it assembled, I'm putting stabilizers on it. So more than anything, beyond how do you look, I don't care about that. It's just more effort. It takes time. Everything's so big and it's so heavy and it's so hypertensionized. It's just tightrope walking, full of pressure. And if you're not on your A game, and you've got to be full of confidence, you've got to be at the top of your game doing this stuff. Rain, hail, or shine, it does not matter. So, of course, I was going to cop something to try and get under my skin yesterday, and more than anything, it's just violating that that it happened the way that it did. Like, my bloody good tools, Anyway, so they're going to go up on a crap cabinet as trophies because, they have served a severely big purpose in my journey in this life. What comes next, I don't know. As I go and build the pyramids, I don't know what comes next. Built some pretty big stuff. This here really is it's pinnacle stuff. Anyway, so when you know you just got to get it done and you've been running a marathon, there's no shame in getting the gloves back on. The gloves are off for this one here to just get it done. It's just been bare knuckle the whole way, but it's time to put the gloves on. It's time to get the stabilizers out. This boat is getting rocked, and it just feels intentionally rocked. Rocked beyond basic physics. So, I'm going to make sure it can't get rocked. I'm going to stabilize it so it can't move a mill. Yeah? And then I'm going to get it together, and I'm going to seal it all up, and I'm going to pressurize the damn thing, and I'm going to get it functioning. And then I'm going to walk away, and I'm going to sleep for 2 days. When your back's against the wall, we call it balls to the wall. When you're balls to the wall, it's a bit do or die type thing, and you do have deadlines. Sometimes you feel like a pawn in the cosmic game where it's like heavens is the TAB, the adrenaline bed, and they're all gambling on a performance, you know what I mean? It's like, I bet you this can be done by this certain day, and it gets very tiring having to base your life upon how well you can perform. And where I'm performing at the moment is over and beyond, and it doesn't matter how I look because I've done more than you're just gone beyond where I should have ever gone. Anyway, so how we look in this performance doesn't matter, and I will perform. It's just I've got a whopper of an above ground ship, a big pivot span, and it's acting dodgy. It's being wobbly. So today, I don't need things flipping on their head that are that long. It's like having something the length of half a football field breaking itself in front of you. Millimetre precision, something the length of half a football field that you've got to try and adjust 5 metres up in the air. It's not easy. So I haven't been beaten up like that in a while, and winning feels good, losing never feels good, but you've got to take your losses as lessons, and that's why quick, smart, you've got to pull yourself together and get beyond. You know what? You want to know the best result beyond rewards? The grave. Yeah, we've got to get beyond that, thinking that the grave is the best result, because look, I understand it. I'm telling you, honestly, there are a lot of days where I feel like, we should all envy the dead because at least they're not suffering the mediocrity of this shit called Earth life, But you got to pull yourself together beyond that. And I'd hate to say it, if you're struggling to find reasons, you've got to really dig deep, because I've done this before where I was doing something to try and serve a greater purpose. Sometimes you've got to go right in there and just go, no, I'm doing this for myself now, because if you don't do it for yourself, why were you doing it? Everyone will fail you. Everyone. So unless you can do it for yourself and for your own reasons, you shouldn't start it, because you'll get right near that finish line, and when it matters most, you'll pull out, because failure and fear and depression and guilt, all these other things will overtake you to the point where it's like, no, this is too much. So all those years of training that the Lord puts you through is for the now moments that I'm in. You'll have something very important pop up. It's like bench presses in the gym that are over what we call 400 pounds. That doesn't matter nowadays. It's not that big. You could prepare an entire year to walk up to a bench and get ready and warm yourself up and get ready for the big lift. And just because you're not on your game, because somehow you jumped your nerve, because somehow you didn't do it just at the right moment within the song or whatever, or as you were going down, when you were going down, you didn't get the right movement going back up to, we're talking parallels, we're talking precision movements to get results with excellence, mastery. These are those moments where one slip, that's it. It's a year until you can do it again. And it takes a certain type of character to be able to have the mental volition to be able to push through that stuff and then walk out the other side paying your dues. Anyway, I've paid enough dues, I've kicked enough goals. This one here is the cream on the cake with the cherry on top. I think yesterday beat me up the most I think I've ever been beaten up. That is what it is. Very sore today. But what I know quick smart is I do not have a shit about self-image. Couldn't care less. When all else fails, once again, it's alright to get the training wheels out, so I'm putting the stabilisers on this thing, and I'm going to ensure that it doesn't move so I can lock it in, get it fixed in place, and be done with it. It's not about being overwhelmed for me, it's not about anything else other than it's just annoying now and it's got to get done. But beyond being annoying, it can't frustrate you. You've got to lock it in. It's like having a wild cow in a set of stockyards, and you've got to lock it down so you got to do the jobs that you're going to do. If you had a wild bull, you wouldn't not have it in a crush, would you? Because it's not tame. So this thing here, it's not tame what I'm dealing with. It needs to be put in a crush and stabilised. Anyway, take this with whatever it is that you're doing. This may help you in some way or another when you need it, when you're balls to the wall in a last minute deadline dire state where it's do or die, you don't get it done. There is stuff that's going to happen because you didn't get it done. You got to find why you were doing it. Sure as shit, don't do it for your partner. Do it for God. God's the one that won't fail you, but at the same time, in these scenarios, I'd hate to say it, God knows the pun I'm going to throw here. God's a $2 watch in these scenarios. You can't rely on God on this one here, other than God is going to test the guts out of you to see just how far you can be pushed. So more than anything, God's going to pull all the stops back and allow you to be smashed as hard as possible to see just how much glory God can get out of your greatness, you know? Oh, I hate these situations when people try to overtake you and there's vehicles coming on. It's just selfish people on roads. Anyway, there we have it. It's not about the trophy, it's about where I'm at right now. How did you pull yourself together before you got back up to attempt to get it done? Can you get knocked off the horse and get back on and keep riding? Especially knowing that you all ain't a cowboy. You've got the 8-second ball that's going to be the glory ball for your life. You've just been beaten up. This happened to me in the gym when I tried to do my massive bench press a couple of years back. 2 weeks beforehand, something happened. I think I dropped it too quickly or something. Like, you've got 3 different types of weight, but your lowering strength is as important as your lifting strength, and I lowered it too slowly, and I couldn't get it back up, and somehow, like, it struck a fear inside of me that I wasn't going to get it done. I don't have that problem anymore, but winning isn't about the victory at the end. Winning is about you're going to cop a knock before the win. How long will it take for you to recover so that you can go back and claim the prize? Where I'm at is, you just take everything in your stride nowadays. The best thing to do is to see all of your losses as lessons to learn, but ultimately, what went wrong. So my loss yesterday, which was a bloody big one, and I've got to rebuild a few things, stabilizers. It's a wild beast that needs to be held very still so that I can move things into place with millimetre precision and get it fixed in and just get it pressurised up and just move on. There it is. Don't take it too personally. It is what it is. There it is. Don't take anything too personally. It is what it is. The nature of whatever it is what it is. You need to adapt to the nature of what that is and act accordingly, respond appropriately, assess your risks in the best manner possible, and just do what you got to do to get the job done in a safe, sound, and protected manner. Have a lovely day. Jesus loves you. May this help you if you're in the same position. Keep it together, chin up. Falling off a horse never gets easy. It doesn't matter how many times you may have had wins. The knocks always hurt. It's just one more time. How you pull yourself back up from that loss before you know you've got the win. This is the defining moment. Keep it together, assess your risks, see where it went wrong, objectify it, see it for what it is, get in there, get the victory. God bless. Godspeed. Bye for now.